Hi everyone, my name is Kriti and welcome to the Sharing is Caring podcast. This podcast is all about sharing knowledge that is informative, entertaining, and beneficial to anyone who tunes in. We talk about a whole bunch of topics from fun facts about different cultures to random food reviews and mental health tips and more. Today's topic is about South Asian culture, and more specifically, we are going to learn how to pronounce Indian names. Now I've compiled a list of some basic guidelines that you can apply to almost any Indian name out there. So once you learn it and you learn how to pronounce certain vowels and consonants, you're pretty much good to go. So let's get started. So a short disclaimer before we start. So when I say Indian, I'm talking about India as in the country located in South Asia and the names that are common in that culture. But I'm also going to include some names that are common in other cultures of the South Asian countries around India, like Nepal, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So to learn our pronunciation, we can basically break it down into two categories, vowels and consonants. So let's start with vowels. First, you have the letter A. The letter A is only going to be pronounced one of two ways, and the first way is an ah sound, like in the word art or car. Ah. So for example, there's the name Ram, which is very popular in India. You have Ram, ah, car, ah, art, ah. They have the same ah sound. Another example is Khan. Khan is actually the last name of a very popular Indian actor, Shah Rukh Khan. So hear that they all have the same ah sound. The next is an sound. It's pronounced like the U in fun or the A in morals. It has a sound to it. So you can see this A sound in the name Hassan, which is the name of the comedian Hassan Minhaj. So both of the A's in the name Hassan are pronounced with a sound to it. So hear this. Fun, morals, Hassan, they have the same sound. Another example is the name Anand. So the first A has a sound as in car, and the second A has a sound like fun. So put together, it's Anand. Next, you have the letter I. So I is also pronounced one of two ways. So one of the ways is a short I sound, as I like to call it, like in the word kit, or sit, or bit. It has a it sound to it. So you can see this in the name Vikram. The I, Vikram, the first I, has a it sound to it. Another example is in the name Krish. So Krish is spelled as Krish, and the I has a short I sound to it. The other way of pronouncing the letter I is what I call a long I. It's pronounced like how you would pronounce a double E in the word feel, or teen, or tree, or freeze, or breeze. There are so many. So notice how I'm saying the name Priya. It's spelled as Priya. The I here makes the same sound if you would have a double E there. Priya. Another example is the name Anjali. Hear the Li at the end. Anjali. Feel. Teen. Same thing. Now there's a common type of name that you'll see where it has two I's in it. The first I is a short I and the second I is a long I. Like my name, Kriti. Do you hear that? The first I was short and the second I was long? You can think of it exactly the same way you would pronounce the name Christy, or you would say the word silly or Billy. So Kriti, my name, is a good example of that. Then Nandini, the first I is short, second I is long, is a pretty good example of that too. Malini is also a very nice example. The next vowel is E. So E is pronounced like like as in bed, or never, or egg. So you would see this in the name Yogesh or in the name Ramesh. The other way to pronounce an E is if there's a double E in the name, and it's pronounced the exact way you'd pronounce a double E in English. Like in the word freeze or tree, it has an E sound. That's the same way you would pronounce the name Mira, Meera, Mira. Or the name Praveen, 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 freeze, tree. You hear that? Then we have the letter O. O is pronounced the exact same way you would say the letter O, like in the word floral or coral. Like you have the name Omkar, or the name Sonali, or the name Komal. Now the letter U is pronounced only one way. It's pronounced the way you would pronounce a double O in any English word. Like in the word fool, drool, cool. Like in the name Rahul, ooh, cool. You hear that? Another example is the name Rupam. It has a oo sound to it. So the next category is consonants. For consonants, we have one main ground rule, is to pronounce our consonants lightly or softly. Now in English language, our consonants are pretty pronounced. Like if you have the word rod, hear the R and hear the D. You have the word draw, tray. They're very pronounced, they're more harsher. So we want to make it sound a little more softer, a little more lighter. A way you can do this is to keep your tongue to the back side of your front teeth. And try to say these names with me. Aditi. Let me say that with an American pronunciation. Aditi. Do you hear that difference? It's slight, but it's there. Aditi versus Aditi. The consonants sound much lighter with the Indian pronunciation, which we should try to apply here. I'll give you 3 more names. Karan, Noor, and Rohit. Do you notice how my consonants just sound a whole lot softer? So try to repeat after me and keep your tongue to the backside of your front teeth, and we'll say the names together. Aditi, Karan, Noor, Rohit. So a trick you can use to help you soften your consonants is to keep your hand in front of your face, and when you pronounce any consonant like D or T, for example, you'll feel a puff of air from your mouth onto the palm of your hand. Our goal is to make the puff of air smaller and smaller, because that's how you get a lighter consonant sound. The more stress you keep on it, or the more harshly you pronounce it, the more stronger puff of air comes onto your hand. So our goal is to make the puff of air smaller, so the consonant comes out more lighter or softer. This is also a very useful trick to help you pronounce Spanish words, because the consonants in Spanish are not pronounced as hard as they are in English. So let's try this out together. Keep your hand in front of your face with the palm in front of your mouth, only a few inches apart. And we're going to say the letter D, but each time we're going to try to make it more softer. And we're not going to say D, we're going to say it like da. Da, 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 da. Notice that each time the puff of air grows smaller and it sounds lighter. Now let's try it with the letter P. Pa, 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 pa. Now let's try it with the letter T. Ta, 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 ta. Notice how it's getting softer and lighter? So you can use this trick to basically help you pronounce all the consonants in any Indian name. It's very useful. But there is an exception to pronouncing these consonants, and that's when you have the letter H next to a consonant. Now, when you have that situation, it's pronounced a little bit differently. You have to aspirate, which means you release a breath of air when you say it. And there's a more of a H sound that comes. For example, there's the name Shikha. It's spelled as Shikha. So the difference between having a Ka and a Kha is that when you say Kha, you release a breath of air when you pronounce it. Let me show you. So I'm going to say Ka, ka. Now I'm going to say Kha, ka. Do you notice the difference? It's slight, but it's there. Now I'll give you another example. I'm going to pronounce Da, da, and Dha, dha. So let's try to say these names. Again, you can use the same trick that I've shown you before, which is to keep your hand in front of your face. And when you pronounce the letter H with a consonant, you want there to be a stronger puff of air on your hand. So whereas in the previous example, when we're trying to get our consonants softer and lighter, we were trying to get a weaker puff of air on our hand. Here we want more air coming out. So I'll give you the name Shikha. Try to pronounce that with me. Putting your hand in front of your face, say Shikha. Then another name is there, Radhika. The DH has that specific sound that we're trying to pronounce. So say that with me. Radhika. Then another name is Bhavana. This is a pretty good example. You can hear how BA and BHA are pretty different. Ba versus Bha. So let's try to say that name. Keeping your hand in front of your face, feel the puff of air. Bhavana. As simple as that. Okay, so that's all the rules that you have for pronouncing Indian names. Now let's put our knowledge to good use and practice. Now, let's practice with the name Pranati. It's spelled as Pranathi. So both of the A's in this name are pronounced with a sound, like fun or morals, and the I at the end is a long I. The PR and the N in this name are pronounced with a lighter sound, but then you have the TH, so make sure to get that H sound in there. I'll say it once and you repeat after me. Pranati. Good job. That was awesome. Now we have the name Anusha. Repeat after me. Anusha. You have the U, which is pronounced as a double O. Then you have the name Suhas. The A has a ah sound to it, as in car, and the U has a double O sound. Repeat after me. Suhas. Awesome. Well done. That was very good. I hope you're proud of yourself for putting in the effort to pronounce all these different names. A lot of them might have been new to you. I want to talk a little bit about why putting in this effort to pronounce names is important. Well, to put it simply, it just shows the other person that you care. Even if you don't get their name right on the first try, if you get back to them and you ask them, hey, can you teach me how to pronounce your name? It shows that you have care for them, that you respect them, and you respect their identity and their culture. And it really creates a lasting impact on the other person. Me personally, I still remember all of my friends, and especially this one history teacher of mine from 10th grade, who really, he sat down with me and he's like, teach me how to pronounce your name. And he took his time with it, but he eventually got it. And that, I will remember that for a very long time, because it was just the amount of respect that he had. This, is a very, memorable thing you can do for another person. And it's a very basic form of respect. Names are a very basic thing. So, I'm really happy if you watch this episode and you listen to it and you practice with me. Because wherever you go out in life, if you meet someone with an Indian name, you can really show this respect and your knowledge to them. So, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Sharing is Caring podcast. See you next time.